Hello, and welcome to our next NAP. NAP stands for Nonprofit Auditor Points, and I'm Irina Orishkova, your nonprofit auditor. Today I want to talk about how we auditors test payroll. Payroll is one of the most significant and material balances for almost all nonprofit organizations. Therefore, we put a lot of effort in testing payroll. One good news, typically it's not challenging to test because all information is about the same. What do I mean by that? Thankfully, to the Internal Revenue Services in the United States, the organization have to file payroll tax reports that include amounts such as gross payroll, tax withholdings, and other useful information that helps us as the auditors to verify payroll amounts. So one step we're doing when we're testing payroll expenses, we're asking for quarterly forms 941s that filed with the IRS. We can also ask similar state forms, D9s, to see what the state taxes was paid. And based on these reports, we're trying to verify and reconcile total amount per general ledger with the file 941 forms. However, it's not always that straightforward. Therefore, we do ask nonprofit to provide us their own reconciliation to see if there's any unreconciling items. And there are often a lot of reconciling items for the following reasons. Reason number one, there are some payroll expenses that are not non-taxable, so they will not be included in the Form 941. Additionally, some nonprofits have very complicated way of recording payroll in their general ledger. They split them in various accounts that not often clearly identified as payroll in nature. Therefore, when we're asking for payroll reconciliation, we see which accounts nonprofits use for payroll record. One thing I have to warn that we've seen in our practice that some nonprofits use general ledger account to record payroll expenses with non-payroll related expenses. That is not advisable. That's actually quite not a very good accounting. Payroll expenses have to be recorded separately. They have to have unique separate account. It could be multiple accounts, but they have to be used for payroll exclusively. Also, payroll taxes needs to be separated and other payroll related accounts. But again, they need to be used exactly for that purpose. You cannot lump sum payroll expenses with another type of expenses in one account. That's not proper accounting. Therefore, we do ask nonprofit to provide us payroll reconciliation with Forms 941, and we can see what other expenses were recorded in general ledger to verify accuracy of payroll expense. What else do? We ask payroll records for that were filed for at least a couple payrolls throughout the year, and we see the list of employees on that payroll report. We want to verify that these employees are real people, that they do exist. We might ask for their payroll, their employee file that includes their personal information, such as I-9 forms, all their hiring letters, and so forth. We're also selecting couple employees to verify their pay rate to the payroll reports. How we do that? Every nonprofit is supposed to have annual evaluation of the employees with a pay raise or discussion of the pay raise, or any letter with the final pay rate that they pay to the employee. That letter needs to be prepared by the organization and signed by employee, so that helps us to verify the pay rate that is used on payroll reports versus the amount is recorded on general ledger. We're also looking for any abnormalities in payrolls, in any unusual either increase or decrease in payrolls. Sometimes when nonprofit pays bonuses at the end of the year, it's reasonable to see spike. We might test that amount as well. We also recalculate payroll taxes if they're reasonable comparing to the overall payroll amount. And lastly, we definitely calculate amount of accrued payroll. For most nonprofits, they pay payroll for the year end, some of that payroll paid after year end, meaning there's going to be some payroll that was earned by employees before year end, but the employees were paid after year end. Again, because we're doing accrual method of accounting, meaning all expenses that the organization incurred during the year, they have to be recorded as a liability during that year. Even though they were paid after year end, the amount needs to be accrued as a payroll accrual expense. So what do? We obtain the last payroll report, and we see what period that report is covering, and we see if that time actually that was paid after the year end but includes some days that were before year end. We calculating estimated amount of accrual and see if the organization correctly accrued payroll. Also, payroll will be affected by accrued vacation. In accrued vacation, I probably will have a separate NAP on accrued vacation, but what I want to say, that accrued vacation schedule that the organization prepares at the end of the year needs to be based on the pay rates that applicable at that end of the year. Not if the raises were done after year end, they should be reflected in accrued vacation schedule. The rates that used per employee for accrued vacation calculation for each individual employee should be pay rates that were active as of the end of the year, not any other time. Therefore, the most critical for testing of payroll for us, it's a proper cutoff, meaning that all liability, payroll liability, including payroll tax, benefits, pension, everything that related to employees are properly accrued and accounted as of the year end. Everything captured, even if it was paid after year end, it's recorded as a liability. What nonprofits needs to do? At the minimum, nonprofits needs to make sure that all 941 forms are retained, D9 forms are retained, reconciliations is between 941s and general ledger is performed, accrued vacation schedule is accurate and agrees, pay rate agrees to general ledger, pay rates per accrued vacation schedule is as of the year end, and any payroll accounts are exclusively used for payroll related expenses, and payroll properly split on the general ledger between overall salary and wages, payroll taxes, benefits, 401k plans, 401(b), any pension plans, and other benefits if the organization paid any benefits. Thank you so much. Hopefully that was useful, and thank you for being here with me. See you for the next nap, and be safe. Have a wonderful day.